Looking at what the Dodgers have done to the Yankees over the last 2 years, it doesn't look good. Now, hopefully, if they meet up in the World Series again, the Yankees will have a better chance of winning. Rondon has played fantastic all season. I think his ERA is 2.67. He's been sensational. With Max Fried, with his ERA at 1.97. I mean, they've been a good 1-2 punch. Could you imagine if Garrett Cole was a part of this rotation? This would be the best rotation in baseball. You can't even argue that. But the Yankees, Aaron Judge, if Aaron Judge doesn't hit, this team has had a lack of offense. Now, Giancarlo, obviously, should this team, when he actually heats up and he gets fully back into this lineup, hopefully this lineup looks a little bit better. And Bellinger was on a 13 game hitting streak. Maybe his back comes alive. But Goldschmidt has been sensational. But against the Dodgers, they can't hit against them. And again, you're going to have to show up against Yamamoto like they did on Sunday. If they do that, and Ohtani should be back on the mound in the second half of the season, you're going to have to contend with that as well. So I do believe the Yankees are better than they were this past weekend, but you don't go out against the Dodgers and give up 18 runs. That was embarrassing. I know it was in L.A., but it's embarrassing when you don't show up in a game where, and in a series that you expect the Yankees to remember what happened last year, especially in Game 1 when they were up 6-5 going into the ninth inning and a bad blunder deciding to bring in Nestor Cortez, which cost them really the series, because maybe if the Yankees win that game and they're up 1-0 and they win Game 2, they're up 2-0, maybe it's a different series. But the Dodgers are the best all-around team in baseball when healthy. They didn't have Mookie Betts. When Mookie Betts gets healthy, the Yankees are going to have to contend with that. But the Dodgers are going to pick up the slack. They were never going to be as bad as they were in the beginning of the season. This is too good of a lineup. Freddie Freeman is one of the best players in baseball when he's 100% healthy, and they have a tremendous lineup. Just think about this. They have 3 MVPs when healthy in their lineup. They have Mookie Betts, they have Friedman, and they have Ohtani. Just think about that. The Yankees do too. If you really look at it, they do too. Goldschmidt, Giancarlo, and Aaron Judge. But I think, obviously, the better 3 and the better duo, or the trio, I would go with the Dodgers, because Mookie Betts, you can argue, is one of the top 5 best players in the league. Freeman, you can argue, when healthy, he's a top 10 player. And then Ohtani, you can argue.
Did Bellinger win an MVP?
Yes, he did. Bellinger won an MVP.
Yeah, he did. I think, obviously, the Yankees lineup is very important this year, and they're going to have to show up against these teams, especially against the Dodgers, if they expect to win. I think they have more depth. Definitely losing Juan Soto. Juan Soto's doing nothing right now with the Mets. I know everybody's going to say, what do you mean? He has 10 home runs. But he's batting .233.
And he already hit a double play tonight.
Yeah, he's batting .233. The Yankees aren't missing him when they added Max Fried, and they have Goldschmidt, who's batting .344, .340 right now. And then Bellinger, at one point, was batting .197, and now he's batting in the .250s. So I think if Bellinger brings up his batting average to .270, this lineup could be very potent. And we haven't seen this lineup at a full strength. We have the Jism man, who hasn't been 100% healthy. Giancarlo has really not been in this lineup. So we'll see what this lineup is going to be at full strength. And by the way, the Yankees bullpen has been one of the more underrated bullpens in all of baseball. And Devin Williams is actually back. He's actually shown up over the last couple of weeks and pitched very well in this bullpen. So if Devin Williams is at full strength and this bullpen plays on all cylinders and obviously doesn't die down in the second half like we've seen many Aaron Boone bullpens have done over the last couple of years, I think the Yankees could be a very dangerous team in the playoffs.
Can I give you some Dodgers injuries? So Mookie Betts has a broken ring toe on his left foot. So it's just a pain tolerance.
It's from all the bowling he does.
Well, whatever it is the tip of his ring toe. So
you can't do anything for that, by the way. There's nothing you can do besides you just have to let it heal.
It just hurts, and you just got to deal with it. Glasnow, and we all knew he was going to be on and off the IL this year. Blake Snell hasn't really done anything yet this year. He's starting to throw right now. He had a setback. Not everybody remembers Michael Kopech is on the Dodgers. Kopech, and he should be back this week. So that's another guy that I've seen touch in the high 90s that they'll get. Kirby Yates should be back at the end of the week as well. So that's another high-end reliever. They lost Sheehan. They lost some other guys I haven't really heard of. Obviously, Roki Sasaki went down.
Right.
He didn't pan out this year. It's probably not going to be much of a thing for this year. Trinan's still in their pen. He's starting up a progression. They are Gratterall. He might come back later in this, late season. These are names, like real legit names that they just aren't even playing yet because they have so much money and so much depth because of the money. They built a team to last. So even though these guys are out, they're still the best team in the league.
I will say this.
They are.
DJ LeMahieu plays a big part in this lineup for the Yankees. If he comes back even half at full strength and he plays and he's healthy, he adds a third base glove that the Yankees have been missing, and he gives you a switch hitting, a guy that, as far as I'm concerned, could play a big part. This is a guy that won a batting title in the National League and the American League. How many players have done that before? So this is a guy. I'm not saying that we need the old DJ LeMahieu that wins batting titles. You just need him to be a 270, 276 hitter. If he gives you that, I mean, the Yankees, their lineup is potent. It could be really, really potent. DJ LeMahieu was a loss all season last year, practically up and down, and even in the playoffs. Where was DJ LeMahieu? He didn't even play in the playoffs. No. So they need DJ LeMahieu to stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, this lineup from top to bottom. Joba, you've been saying this over and over and over again. Remember when we started this and we started doing like a little podcast show after, during the playoffs? What did we talk about? The reason why the Yankees were going to have a problem with winning against, maybe the Dodgers or whoever comes out of the National League is they don't have a potent lineup from 1 to 9. Now you get rid of Soto and you add Bellinger, you have a healthy DJ LeMahieu, Giancarlo Stanton, and then you have Goldschmidt. This is a potent lineup from 1 to 9. This is a different team than the Yankees were last year.
Yeah, I think it's different in a way where there's a little bit more diversity in the fact of they can do a lot of different things. They're not going to rely on one certain thing. Obviously, we've seen what Stanton can do in the playoffs, and and that's why I'm not too worried about him getting back anytime soon because he's proven what he can do in the playoffs. I think with LeMahieu, I think you're 100%. We're not going to get the batting title winner. We're not. And that's okay because Father Time wins everything, as we've said on the show before. But if we can get half to 3/4, I mean, he brings great value to what they are. And what I love too about things that they have done and where I don't like, obviously they're the same record as the Dodgers right now. And nobody would have thought the Tigers would have the best record in baseball right now. Nobody would have thought that here as we sit in the beginning of June. But being able to have those guys and then bring them back at some point, it's kind of like you get a free agent. I would like them to see them do something at the deadline. I don't know what they're going to do or what they're willing to give up. We'll have to have, Brian come back on and give us a little insight on that one once we get closer to the deadline. But I think with this lineup, it has guys that have won before and know how to win. And they may have had off years, but they know how to win. They've been in the situation before. And as you know, in a clubhouse, when guys don't panic because it's like, we're going to go through a bad stretch maybe. But if you have guys that know how to win and know how to just hey, you know what? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And I think that's really how this lineup got even better. Mind you, losing a Soto is you're losing a Soto. Yeah, you're looking at his year and seeing what he's hitting. Yes, but it still sucks to lose a caliber.
Bellinger's having a better year than Soto is right now.
I know. Yeah. But I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that we have Cody. Mm-hmm. But it's also, what we do, and we didn't lose anything from the maturation side. Think about this. Soto has 1-2 as a young guy, but so has Belly. But Belly also grew up around the game and knows what it takes and knows that there's no panic because his dad played for the Yankees. And I don't ever give Cash credit because I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire.
That's a good line.
But I think he did a great job of bringing the right guys in that have the mentality of how to win and not panic, and not like take it too much into their own dome. Be like, well, if we don't win, we don't win. Well, no, we don't have to win right now. Let's just be the last one standing. And I think he brought really, really, really good guys in that understand that mentality. Why I think this team is better. And even without our best pitcher, but yes, did we bring in a guy? But have we seen what Max Fried has done in the playoffs too?
Yes.
So it's going to be kind of up for debate. But
I
love that.
He's also had problems against the Dodgers. If you look at Max Fried,
Right.
his record against the Dodgers, it's not good. And he's actually, the Dodgers have been his kryptonite. So
them and the Phillies,
yeah. He's been his kryptonite.
They have a good mix of veterans and younger players. I'm just looking at their roster. Carrasco, veteran. Fried, veteran. Hamilton, probably in that, 3 to 4 range. Mark Leiter Jr., veteran. Loizaga, veteran. Rodon, veteran. Smitty. Will Warren, young guy. Devin Williams, they brought him in, veteran, back into the pen. Obviously struggled a lot this year, but has gotten better. Their catchers
couldn't get worse.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Can always get worse. Goldschmidt, veteran. LeMahieu, veteran. Peraza, young guy. Still has got some time. Ben Rice, young guy. Yorbit, Vivas, young guy. Volpe, still young. Still trying to get his bearings in the big leagues, right? Bellinger, veteran. Dominguez, young guy. It's a good mix. Obviously, Judge, veteran. Like, you have a very good mix. And I think the best teams in baseball are the teams that can mix older guys, 35-year-olds, 33-year-olds, guys who are ancient, and pair them with younger guys that are coming up. And it gives a good, role model, or it's a good visual to see, as you're saying, Joba, like, all right, shit, we just lost the series. We got swept, whatever. And some of the younger guys are like, oh, am I going to get sent down? Am I going to get optioned? And you see the veterans just are even kill the entire time because they know. Like, all right, we lost the series, so what? We'll make it up on the back end, or we'll pick it up here and there. And some of the best teams that I've been on have been just like that. And they're the most fun, too, because you're rubbing elbows with guys who have been in the show for 8 to 10 years, guys that I grew up watching, and now I'm getting to watch them on the field and off the field and calling my teammates. And it's a really good atmosphere.